What's up, my boss babies? Have you ever wondered what it would be like to just pour tons and tons of developer on a wig and just let it lighten, no bleach at all? Well, today we're going to be doing it here on my channel. I was sent a beautiful wig from RPGhair. They sent over this brush. They also sent over elastic so that I can add the elastic band. They also sent me wig caps. So the wig we're going to be playing in is a tight curly wig. It's 180% density and it's 18 inches long. And here she is. She's pre-plucked. She has really nice baby hair, very natural texture for African American women. This is the inside of the wig. You have two combs in the front, a large comb in the back, as well as adjustable straps. If I did not mention, this is a 360 lace wig. So here we have some 40 volume developer in our wig, and we're going to use a brush and we're just going to go ham and apply this everywhere. Now this is a brand new bottle of developer I literally picked up earlier this day, and I literally used about a third of the bottle. Now you definitely don't need that much developer, but I just went ham and just made it easy on myself by just drenching the entire wig. Now as you guys can see, I'm using gloves because I was under the impression, as much as I've dyed and processed hair, that it was the actual powder bleach that burns your hands, but boy I got a little bit of this 40 volume developer on my hand and it burns so bad. But while I'm talking you guys to death, all I'm doing is I'm going back and forth, making sure I'm getting the back of the wig, the front of the wig, in between the wig, all around the wig. I want to leave a little bit of a peak of a dark root just in case the process is too light. I want to make sure that I am able to still pull it off with a dark root, since I do have brown skin. Now this is my first time doing this technique. I did not use any bleach. I just used only developer. Now I've seen this done on YouTube a few times years and years ago. You guys know I am in search of perfect ways to bleach hair, dye hair, process hair, and kind of wanted to just learn how to control the color that I obtain when I bleach hair. So this time around I decided, let me just try to see what happens with 40 volume developer, and basically I saturated the entire wig. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to drop the whole thing in a plastic bag, and this was my way of just hoping that the hair would process faster. Now I do not recommend that you put it in a bag like that. I would recommend that you wrap it in some foil or wrap it in like the trash bag that you have laid out on the counter, which is what I used, so that it lays flat. The hair, even though you guys seen that I started at the very bottom, it lifted more at the top, and I think it's the way the hair was laid in the bag. Also a bonus was that because I did use the developer, it did semi bleach the knots, which I did not expect. All of the knots are not completely bleached, but like majority of them got bleached, which I didn't even know you could bleach knots with just developer. So that was something interesting and new that I learned from this process. Now I'm using my Shimmer Lights purple shampoo to wash out the developer. I'm also going to use the Tresemme Luxurious Moisture as my conditioner. With the purple shampoo, I did let it sit on the hair. Like I applied it and let it set up. I let it sit for 10 minutes just to kind of lightly tone the hair in case there was any brassiness. And then I used the conditioner and rinsed it right out. And this is a slow-mo, or not even slow-mo, but just in real time, the texture shot, so you guys can see the texture is beautiful. There is no product in the hair. You guys can see at the top where it lifted a lot. I believe that it lifted much more at the top because of the way the hair was bent in the bag. This part of the hair was kind of like in the center in a way, so it got the most heat and it processed the most. So when you do this, or if you try this, please make sure that you keep your wig flat or straight and not allow it to bend or curve, and use, you know, like a bag or foil probably would be a good idea, but the foil probably will manipulate the color that you get by processing the hair a little bit faster. I forgot to mention I did leave the developer on the hair for 2 hours, so I went ahead and I did some other work while it processed. I was prepared to leave it processing overnight because I wasn't sure how fast it would work, and 2 hours was all that I needed. And you guys can see here that it still has a dark root. So at this point we went ahead and we've cut off the lace. I added my Got to Be Glued free spray to bond the wig down, and now we're just going ahead and placing it. Now the lace is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so I would definitely pick up some fabric dye or tea bags and sort of tint the lace to make it a perfect flawless finish. I'm going on top of the lace with my freeze spray, kind of to make or get rid of the lightness and kind of make it melt. Now it didn't melt completely, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll with it. But again, I should go back and tint the lace for a more flawless finish. I'm just going to use a foundation powder at the very end once everything is done to sort of mimic what it would look like if the lace matched my skin. Now here we are going ahead and tweezing out, I'm sorry, we didn't tweeze anything. We're going ahead and trimming down the baby hair. This was pre-plucked and I didn't really need to tweeze much. I didn't want it to bald too much, so I just went ahead and trimmed the hair down to about, what, half to a quarter inch. Now I'm going to take my foam lotion, which you guys know has been my favorite, or my current favorite, edge control, and I'm going to use it to brush the hair back and also swoop the baby hair. I like to start at the bottom with the baby hair and swoop that one section and then go in and swoop a section right on top of that. I find that when you work from the top to the bottom, sometimes your swoops kind of connect, but when you work from the bottom to the top, each one, it makes it easier to separate and have individual swoops. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, just follow along with what I'm doing and try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. Now again, I'm going to say it again because I know you guys love to comment and read me on my flaws, but I do need to tint the lace. I do need to tint the lace, just not today. Now here's a good look at the parting. Now you guys seen at the very end when I was adding the developer, I kind of just used my hands to apply it, so here it's not as neat as it should be. Take your time in the front and continue to use your brush so that you get a more a more flawless and even application. But to be honest with you guys, I am fine with the way it looks. Now I'm just going to take a foundation powder similar to my skin tone and go and apply it all the way around. Because the lace is a little bit off and a little bit tinted, maybe more of a yellow tone, it does manipulate the foundation powder that normally would match my skin and it makes it the wrong color. But please understand that whenever you guys see me install a wig on YouTube, the next day, whatever mistakes that I made in that install or whatever I can improve, I definitely go back after the fact and improve it. You just don't see that part of it. Okay, so originally I was gonna go with a center part. Let's see if it's still pre-parted. Not pre-parted, but yeah, my part is still there. I love the way this looks, but it's not layered, so it kind of, I'm not going to say it's unflattering. Like this, if this was my natural hair, I would definitely wear it like this. But for the sake of the wig, I kind of would want to cut layers for it to get some dimension. So I kind of just like flipped it over. Now the only thing about the flip over is I feel like you have a frontal and you do the flip over, you kind of lose some of the quality of the fact that it's a frontal, because when you do a flip over, or when I see other people do a flip over with no part, I automatically think, oh, like it's a synthetic wig, or like, oh, it's a cheap wig with no parting or something, you know what I mean? So you guys can see I've already started and I have a curved parting here. That way, this actual parting is long enough. This is at least 4 inches. It goes back 4 inches, but I like to do the curved parting even when I have enough parting space. I just like the way it looks best. And make sure after you curve your parting that you go in and part out some hair to lay down and cover. And then you can just play with that. And I kind of like the fluffiness. You can take some wet. I love this stuff here. It's called Wet, and this is usually what I use to define my curls. That with a Denman brush, you can really make these curls pop a lot. But yeah, I love the way it came out. Absolutely love the idea of doing the developer. Never knew it would be so simple and that I would get such great results. I always assumed that the developer would only be like a temporary or minimal solution, and boy was I wrong. You definitely can do literally wonders with the developer, and I actually like it. Now, I did start with the developer at the bottom, and somehow the top got lighter than the bottom. So definitely this was my very first time trying this. So I can go back in with the developer and lighten down here to even it out, or I can add like a box dye on top, or I can just bleach it, or I can add streaks, or I can just leave it. That's the great thing about this, is that it lightened light enough to where I love the way it looks and I'm content, but if I want to perfect it, I can go back in and do more things because it's not damaged and it's not overly done. And then the great thing also is that it does not smell like dye. I hate the bleach smell after you bleach your wig and then you wash it and put it on. It has a certain scent to it no matter which bleach you use, and I don't have that smell this time around. But I don't want to talk you guys to death. Again, this one comes from RPGhair. Always an awesome company to work with. I absolutely love their products. Make sure you click the link in the description bar and check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.